Hey, yo, we got Aquamarine, How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother. I am tired. Are You My Mother parody t-shirts on Teespring right now. Some of you did not like the version of the little square that looks like a book in the middle of the t-shirt. So now we have two versions. You can get that version, but you can also get this version that is transparent and we have different colors and it comes with men's and women's t-shirts. So get that on Teespring. It's available till May 28th and the art was done by Kitsune Zakuro. Very talented. Go subscribe to her channel. Leave the link in the description below and we'll leave the links to the two t-shirts below. So go check out the things. That's it. Okay, thanks, bye. What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and why is my microphone so freaking loud? Today I want to talk again about Steven and Lars' predicament on Homeworld, but this time I want to mention how they could possibly escape Homeworld, and there's actually quite a few ways that this could go down, whether that'll be at the end of the special or that'll just happen afterwards at some point during Season 5 is yet to be seen, but it's still fun to speculate on what could possibly happen, and I'm going to run down the few options that I think are possible, some more likely than others, but anyway, let's get on with it. So as I said before, Steven and Lars are currently stuck on Homeworld. They ain't stuck on you, they ain't stuck on Band-Aid brand, they are stuck on Homeworld. So how can they get out of this situation? They do not have any real resources. They have a friend in Topaz and potentially that new gem who might be Moonstone, who we'll talk about later this week, maybe, and that's about it. And they're going against the diamonds. How can they possibly escape? They're just two humans or 1.5 humans. How can they get out of the situation? Well, for one, they could potentially get saved by the crystal gems. The crystal gems undoubtedly are going to try to figure out some type of way to save both Steven and Lars immediately. They're not going to just sit there and let them die. They're going to try to devise some sort of plan, and there's actually a couple options that they have themselves. One could be that Lion could potentially warp to Homeworld. That is a pretty strong possibility. We don't know how Lion's warping works exactly. We don't know if Lion needs to warp to only places he's been to, which it seems like, and he did go to Pink Diamond's moon base, so this means that there is more likely than not a connection between Lion and Pink Diamond, which was highly speculated and is relatively obvious at this point. So given that there is a connection to Pink Diamond, it is possible that Lion has some type of information or knowledge or memory of Homeworld. It's clear that Lion has some type of connection to Pink Diamond, and if that is the case, then it is possible that he might be able to warp to Homeworld and know where Homeworld is. We've seen him warp to the moon, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that he could have warped somewhere else in space. Now, in order to do this, Steven would probably need to communicate somehow, some way. Otherwise, I don't think Lion would necessarily listen to any of the gems. He might listen to Connie. That might be their best bet. Another couple options would be that Steven could telepathically communicate to Lion and get into his head via his dreams, or maybe he could communicate via Pumpkin, which may have been foreshadowed in the episode The Good Lars, where they started out eating a pumpkin cake. And if Lion does warp to Homeworld, there would be a pretty good possibility of there actually being some more Pink Diamond backstory, which we'll probably get anyway since this trial is about Rose shattering Pink Diamond, more likely than not. This could possibly add on to that some stuff that Rose knew that no one else knew, that Lion might be able to reveal some way, shape, or form. Another strong possibility is that Peridot and Pearl will try to build a ship. We know last time Pearl tried to build a ship. It didn't go so well. Some might even say it was appalling Apollo too soon. Alright, moving on. But with the help of Peridot, they've both proven that they are very advanced and skilled mechanics. If you put both of their minds together and the resources that they have, and the fact that Peridot might be able to create some type of advanced technology that Pearl never could have potentially thought of, then there is a fair chance that they might be able to build a very solid ship. It might even only get them one way, because they're very limited with their resources, but I think if you put Pearl and Peridot together, they could more likely than not come up with a good plan to build a ship, come to Homeworld, and crash their party. And of course, there is the option of Lapis carrying everybody across space, because we know she can fly to Homeworld, or maybe she carries like 2 or 3 people, but I don't know what their plan would be. That I think that's the least likely scenario. And an even less likely scenario would be that they all fuse. So Pearl, Garnet, Amethyst, and Lapis and Peridot all fuse, and then like give Connie like a spacesuit or something, and they just fly using Lapis's wings powers that will be enhanced via the fusion. I think that is a huge stretch. I don't see that happening, but it is a possibility. And there's also the possibility of Steven and Lars finding a way out themselves, which could potentially be problematic if the crystal gems end up coming for Steven and Lars and they're already gone and they end up on Homeworld and they can't find them. So one way to counteract this would potentially be communicating through the pumpkin dog. That is an option. And the only way Steven and Lars, I think, could really escape Homeworld by themselves without any external help outside of Homeworld would have to be through Topaz, because Topaz seems like she's down to help, but she might be a little bit reserved. But the only way that they are going to even remotely find a ship and fly out of there and get to Earth safely is if Topaz is in control. So I think the most likely scenario would be for Topaz, the Topaz Fusion, or separate or whatever, end up helping Steven and Lars escape. They find the ship and they pilot it and they hightail it out of there, and potentially Topaz could become a new crystal gem, but that's also another video for another day. So we'll talk about that later on. And another way, and this is something that's very interesting, this may or may not come into play. I think this plot point will come into play eventually. I mentioned this in the live stream, but I think that pink diamond zoo earrings that Steven left on the bathroom sink may actually be very important and could help them figure out a way to communicate to Steven.
Pink diamond zoo earrings. Communicate with your favorite extraterrestrial overlords with style, pizzazz, and lack of existential purpose. Your fellow captives, zoo mates, will look at you in awe as they glow and whisper sweet nothings into your sonic crevices. Pushed in 9/11. Pink diamond zoo earrings. Choosing only the best.
It's possible that Peridot could theoretically alter the earrings so they communicate not through the zoo signal, but all the way to Homeworld. And I know this sounds far-fetched, but you have to remember Homeworld has very, very advanced technology, so it's quite possible that the earrings could reach all the way to Homeworld. And Peridot and even Lapis could end up giving Steven and Lars advice where they should go for help, where they can find a ship and get out of there, how to control the ship. So if Steven and Lars do find the ship and Topaz is not down to help, they can actually give them advice directly via the earpiece to the ship. I don't know how they would communicate with them before that ship. I don't know how that would even be possible. So that's why I'm saying I think Steven would have to telepathically communicate first, and then they could find some type of device that they could reroute that earring to so they can talk to them and figure out what they have to do. But that's just a theory, and that's pretty much it. That's all I've got. There's quite a few options, like I said before. I don't know which one I think is the most likely. I think pretty much all of them are pretty plausible. We'll just have to wait and see how this story arc ends up panning out. The only one I don't really think is going to happen is Lapis dragging everyone to Homeworld, or all of those gems fusing and then going to Homeworld. I don't see that happening. And another thing should be noted, that the only way we're ever going to really see the crystal gems and Connie communicate with Steven, like if they do find the earrings or they're trying to come up with a game plan, the only way we're going to see that is if Steven ends up telepathically going to someone else's body, and I think Pumpkin Dog would make the most sense out of everyone. So that's the only way we're going to really see that. So I do think we will see Steven entering Pumpkin Dog's dream and controlling his body so he can see what's going on Earth, and he can help them figure out a plan and somehow talk to them. But those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? How do you guys think Steven and Lars are going to escape Homeworld? We know they do escape Homeworld because we do have an episode called The Show, which features Pearl, Mystery Girl, and Steven, and they're on a date apparently. Things end up becoming a-okay and hunky-dory down the road, so we know everything's going to be fine somehow, some way. But how do you think this is going to go down? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe for more Steven Universe coverage on Wanted and all things animation. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and hit that little bell. Be notified when we are talking about Wanted. There's going to be tons and tons of Wanted videos. We have a White Diamond video coming out. We have a Stars video coming up. We want to talk about that new gem. There's tons of stuff to talk about from that new promo, so be on the lookout for that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I've been Michael Williams. You've been watching Cartoon Universe, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.